Now, here's the thing. Even if he was right, it doesn't matter, because I was allowed to do whatever I wanted during the campaign. I was running my business, a lot of different things during the campaign.
That was President Trump this morning talking about former personal attorney and fixer Michael Cohen. But here's the thing. The president's wrong that he could do anything he wanted, because the things Michael Cohen alleges Trump directed him to do are against the law. So let's go through what Cohen pleaded to in the summer and today. Back in August, Cohen pleaded guilty to 8 counts brought by the Southern District of New York, the U.S. Attorney's Office here in Manhattan. He entered a guilty plea on 5 counts of personal income tax evasion. 1 count making a false statement to a financial institution. 1 count of willfully causing an unlawful corporate contribution. That was the hush money deal between American media and former Playboy model Karen McDougal. And 1 count of making an excessive campaign contribution. That's the $130 grand he said he paid on his own to Stormy Daniels so that she would keep quiet about her alleged affair with then businessman Donald Trump. And today, Michael Cohen pleaded guilty to lying to the U.S. Congress in relation to statements he made about a project that was to build a Trump Tower in Moscow. Think about that. There are no good guys here. I mentioned at the top of that, despite the president's claims that the Mueller investigation is just a witch hunt, the special counsel's office returned indictments against 33 individuals and secured guilty pleas from 7 of them. At this point, 5 of them connected directly to the president and his campaign, including his former campaign chairman, former national security advisor, former campaign aides, plural, and now his former personal attorney, one of whom was first convicted by a jury. That, Mr. President, in America, is not a witch hunt. This is due process. This is the rule of law. If only the self-proclaimed law and order president would acknowledge that, then we could move forward.
Hey, MSNBC fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down there and click on any of the videos here to watch the latest interviews and highlights. You can get more MSNBC for free every day with our newsletters. Just visit msnbc.com/newsletters to sign up now.